Welcome to 2023. Thanks for a great 2022 on YouTube, and now let's make 2023 even better. And of course, 2022 was definitely the year of Sonic, and I would say it's probably the best year that Sonic the Hedgehog ever had, hands down. We started out the year with hype leading into the movie Sonic Origins, and then the roller coaster of a summer with Sonic Frontiers, which led into the game and eventually being a hit amongst fans. And of course, the momentum doesn't seem to stop. Well, I guess in Sonic Frontiers it stops, but jokes aside, 2023 plans for Sonic have been revealed and hinted at, so let's talk about it right after this. Hey, hold up a minute. 75% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel, so why don't you consider subscribing if you've been enjoying the content? You may be like, hey, this might be too early in the video, but 43,000 of you guys keep coming back to these videos, so I'm talking to you. Why don't you hit the subscribe button? Thanks guys. So we got quite a lot of stuff in one year, and you may possibly think, what else could we be getting going forward in the next year already? It sounds crazy to get more content this soon, but is indeed going to happen. We're going to start lightly though. So some of you may have forgotten, but there was another Sonic show slated to be released this year. And no, I'm not referring to Sonic Prime. There is supposed to be a Knuckles show on Paramount Plus that is set in the Sonic movie universe with Idris Elba, of course. And to be honest, I haven't heard anyone talk about this or mention it at all recently. A lot of people love Idris's Knuckles. He was an amazing character in the movie, so I'm pretty excited to see how that turns out and what kind of show it's going to be. I'm also sure that the show will probably feature Sonic and Tails, and the show will probably act as a bridge to the Sonic movie 3. So I'm hoping for characters like Rouge or something to get introduced in the Knuckles show. But personally speaking, I think it'll be a nice cool watch. Not as invested in the movie universe as much as I am the games, of course, or even Sonic Prime for that matter. But outside of the Knuckles show, next we're getting probably more Sonic Prime episodes. It seemed a decent amount of people enjoyed Sonic Prime quite a bit, and I see people call it the best Sonic show to date. Personally, I'd still rather give that title to Sonic X. I just enjoyed what that show had to offer a lot more, and I enjoyed the adaptations and especially the Japanese version of the show. But nonetheless, Sonic Prime is pretty good, and the first season is technically not finished as there are supposed to be 24 episodes total. So we will likely get more of that in 2023. I'll be of course watching, and I'll probably have updated thoughts on the show for when that time comes. So outside of the games, that's 2 Sonic shows in 2023, a brand new one, and another one is receiving more episodes. It's kind of wild to have all this stuff going on at once, but I consider that the small stuff. There are things that are definitely way more exciting to me. For example, this little roadmap we have here for Sonic Frontiers. It's promising so much new content to the game that's all completely for free. And I'm 200% positive that we will get paid DLC as well. As what will that pertain to? I have no idea what that could even be, but I feel it coming as it seemingly makes sense for their plan to keep this game fresh for a while. I guess while they prepare to work on the next Sonic game. But this roadmap, including the multiple playable characters, is a huge deal for the franchise, as we haven't had multiple different playable characters like that in many years. Especially with characters like Amy, who hasn't been playable since Sonic 06. So I'm really happy this is even a thing, and that the team is doing this as a free update. This will be the biggest highlight of Sonic in 2023 for sure, at least for me, and I know it will for many others. So that's something to get hyped on and hope that isn't done in a lame way. I'll be making a video on each character on how I believe they'll play as well, so stay tuned for that. So the next thing is something that I actually covered a while back during the beginning of the summer, but Sega Hardlight announced that they are hiring more employees for this ambitious Sonic game that they are working on. Rumor has it that it's a Genshin Impact type of Sonic game. It isn't specifically said to release in 2023, but it could very likely happen, or we could just be receiving news on it. If it truly is Genshin Impact like, I think that would be a huge deal for Sonic, and the devs for this game project hyped it up, calling it a story-focused and ambitious game. Yeah, I agree with your thinking. There's some pretty big words coming from Sega Hardlight, but I'm quite interested to see what they have to offer with this ambitious Sonic mobile game. Well, likely a mobile game because it's Sega Hardlight. If it truly is a big hit, you could see entire content creators just centered around this one game, similar to how people will just cover Sonic Speed Simulator. Shout out to Sonic Hub. Sonic as a franchise is powerful, my guys. Okay, well that's pretty much all of the confirmed stuff. But what about the stuff that slips through the cracks of Sega's floors? Yup, that's right, leaks. We're sitting on some heavy leaks for Sonic content. Well, first things first, we're gonna take it back to 2021 when Zippo leaked the 2D modern Sonic game, which I still think is happening. And it's very likely that we'll be seeing this in 2023 as a trailer or even a release year for this game. And Zippo updated his blog in May of 2022, saying how the game is still alive and well, and honestly, it would make a lot of sense because usually 2D modern Sonic games these days, they get handled by another company like Dimps or another team within Sega. And Iizuka himself did confirm that other teams have already been working on content while Frontiers is being made. And this is all very nicely lining up with the 2D modern Sonic leaks that have been happening for the last 2 years now. And that statement I just mentioned by Iizuka came out not even a few months ago. And Zippo in his blog stated that Sonic Team themselves is working on this game. So yeah, Zippo says Sonic Team is working on a 2D game, and then Iizuka mentions how other teams within Sonic Teams are working on content right now. And he said this back in May. Can you see how this all lines up? I truly do think this will be happening whether it drops this year or we just see a trailer for it. I truly do think we won't have to wait that long for Sonic content anymore. They're going to be constantly supplementing content in between bigger content. For example, Frontiers. Now, in between Frontiers, we're going to have a 2D modern Sonic game almost immediately, it seems like. And maybe even another smaller game by a different company that comes out in a year or two to supplement for content of the Frontier sequel. And because of this, the future of Sonic has changed. I don't think dry periods are really going to exist the way they used to unless they just start failing again. I feel like the only reasons dry periods existed is because of what happened in the past when it comes to failure of games. For example, Sonic Boom. Sega lost a lot of money from Sonic Boom and they had to fire a lot of people. That severely impacted the franchise. It's the reason why we got a Sonic Forces. They didn't have the money or the care to put in any of that for the next Sonic game. So Sonic Forces was exactly what it was. A 2-hour, $40 boneless game. Solely existed to make money, and that's it. And that's not even to mention Sonic Lost World also caused issues due to the Nintendo deal, and that was also included with Sonic Boom. Sonic Lost World was made out of a deal. These bad business decisions led to the point we are now. But now we have Sonic Frontiers. They have money from the movie now and more notoriety and more engagement in the franchise, so they put in more work. And they came out with I'd say a banger of Sonic Frontiers. And because now we have this banger, they have to keep this momentum going, or else, they lose more money. They want to keep making money, but also they realize they have to make bangers if they want to make money. So they're already going to be working on Frontiers. They're going to have content to supplement it. They're going to have movies and more TV shows to just keep going along with everything because Sonic is in a renaissance phase right now. It's in a push forward. We're seeing lore teams being created for the games now to keep continuity. We're seeing more employees be hired. We're seeing devs take feedback live on Twitter and promising to implement it into the game. We're seeing the franchise getting good reviews, whether it's on the movies, the shows, or even some decent reviews for Frontiers. We're in a renaissance era. This is the new future of Sonic. It's content. Content, content, content. I don't think the content's gonna stop. I think if there are breaks and dry periods, it ain't gonna be very long how it used to be, as long as Sonic stays on this momentum, and that's exactly what they want to do, is keep Sonic going. So yeah, the future of Sonic has changed. 2023 will be the start of the new cycle of Sonic, and I think we're all just gonna have to get used to it. But I'm sure a lot of us won't mind it, as long as it's good. But anyways, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button, and like always, I'll see you in the next one.
Well, whatever happens, happens.